Hello, hello, hello. We are waiting on Mandy to come back in. She's having technical difficulties with her camera. So she wanted to. Hi, we're already live. I was like, okay, we'll go live and just Mandy's having technical difficulties. She wants her phone to be flipped. So we'll wait for her to get on here. And I knew you were coming back. It didn't
Oh
work,
yeah,
I see.
my phone did not flip, but hey, we're here. We have a strong, solid connection. I'm just a little smaller today, and I'm okay with that.
You are a little smaller, but I gotta tell you, you're like super clear. You're clearer than you usually are, which I love to see your face, not fuzzy. It's a
Right?
beautiful face.
My phone can't. Thank you. My phone camera is much better. I love my phone. It's like a Google Pixel. It's great. But I think I'm gonna invest in like a web camera for
Mm,
my computer, and that'll help too. So, but in the meantime, I was like, let me do my phone because it's a little clearer. So whatever. Here we are.
it is.
Yay.
I like it. It's pretty. I'm gonna make sure that my phone is on blue, like shut down Bluetooth.
Mm.
Airplane mode, not Bluetooth. We're not doing Bluetooth. Um, Airplane mode, just so it doesn't do stuff. So, what do you want to talk about, Mandy? There's lots of stuff. Like, there's nothingness going on inside of my life right now, so I don't really know what to talk about.
Well, today's Louise is, and this is the Louise Hay Daily Oracle affirmations. And it says, I'm willing to see how and where I need to change.
Mm.
I think that's a potent place.
That was my therapy, and that was also what I wrote about. It was just, you gotta make your own changes. You gotta do your own things. And it's funny, it's been in alignment if we think about it. I don't know. What does that mean to you? Before I go into ramblings of a crazy woman, I will ask you, what do you think about that?
So I really like it, especially just for me and where I'm at in my life right now. I'm feeling really like internally called. So just continue to rise up, kind of practice what I preach, get serious about some things. I'm really trying to figure out how to release some more weight. I had lost like about 100 pounds and kept it off, but I have been really stuck the past like 2, 3 years, and it just kind of keeps fluctuating around the same space. And I'm ready for like the next level of that. So I need to like take a deep look at what I need to do to change that. And every time I do the medical medium cleanse, it works really well for me. So I'm going to step back into that probably with our sweet sisters, Lexi and Kendra, and that'll be cool. And just little things. So, like, if you haven't had the pleasure of having a reading with Ursula, it's quite fun and quite revealing. She is our astrologist at Sea Goddess Healing Arts. She's also an aromatherapist, which is pretty cool. But a lot of things came up because I have she would be able to tell me, but something nodal going on that represents a lot of energy in my chart. And the energies that are coming up for me are maturity, responsibility, and boundaries. Which, like, oof, that's extra adulting, right? Like, oof. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel that rising in me, and I
Mm.
feel stricter boundaries in so many ways. And like a lot of times that's with myself, with like, exercise and getting to bed on time and taking a break off social media when I find myself just scrolling at shit that doesn't matter. And I'll feel it. I'll feel it in my energy. All of a sudden I'll be like, because there's sometimes where you scroll and it's nice to check out and whatever and have a break. And then all of a sudden you start to feel your energy getting sucked and going a different way and being more mindful of that. So I feel like that accountability is coming up with myself. And then, yeah, just like being even more responsible with myself and, growing in whatever way I can, whether that's, feeding myself properly or doing my, bills right or whatever it is that I can do to like become a little bit more responsible with myself is the energy I've been stepping into. So, that's where I'm at with all that. And it's I think that's the ultimate self-love is just really taking care of yourself and making sure I still have fun and good things. But maturity, responsibility, and boundaries were my big things that came up in my reading most recently. And that's what I've been focusing on.
It's interesting. It's in alignment with everything that's going on, and I think it's funny because like when I talked to my therapist about this today, so it's just funny. It's like wow. So we talked about it, and I was like, I'm starting to learn that even though I had a lot of boundaries, and I thought that I was using my voice, I still didn't. And it's really funny because like when we say certain things, in the thing that we did, I can't remember, a soul broadcast that we did, when I wrote about that, I said, I had given up a lot of myself to the whims of other people and what they needed. That doesn't mean that I was like a yes girl. I've never been a yes girl. And I think that those two things were very clouded for me, because how can I see myself this way in certain relationships and aspects of my life, specifically before now, and know that I was kind of a dick, excuse my French, but I was.
I've had my dicky moments.
I was kind of a jerk. I mean, if you were to talk to some of my exes, they'd be like, she was not a yes girl. She did not bend to the whims, but I did, because they don't know who I am and they don't know what I needed. The issue is neither did I. And so I'm learning that, there's all these things that I thought I needed in my life that really I did need, but I needed more. And what I needed was me. I don't need anything or anybody else. And I was like, to my therapist, I was like, is that toxic? Is that not toxic? I like to play the game with my therapist. Am I the toxic? And she was like, no, I can understand where parts of these things might be trauma related. However, in my perspective right now, from where I am today, nobody else can control my day at all. My spouse cannot, my spouse can't control whether or not I'm working or not working, if I'm having a good day, a bad day, how I see life, my path, my journey, my experience, unless I allow to give my power up to that. And I feel like I'm just now coming to a state of understanding of the self-responsibility and starting to see it a little bit clearer than I did 5 years ago, and understanding that even though I can look at situations and be like, well, that was a crappy situation on this person and they did bad things in my life, I was there because I put myself there. I was there because I didn't know what I needed, and I didn't show up for myself, and I didn't reflect on my own shortcomings and emptinesses inside of me that said, Crystal, this is what you need. And so it's just this beautiful thing that happens. And I think a lot of people are scared of that self-reflection and that honesty. And right before we came on, I did see a Facebook post, and it was a woman who was talking about, she posted a lot of pictures of her journey and her weight loss journey. But in her post, she stated that she was married to this abusive person for years, and they fed her until she gained 200 pounds. And I was like, oof, that doesn't sit right with me, because you're putting the food in your mouth. I've been there. I was almost 300 pounds 4 years ago. I've been there. I know what that looks like. And it's because I was filling a void. And it's because I didn't know what that void was. And I had to be responsible. So it's almost like, until we see our responsibility in all of those things, and what it is and what we need, and maybe what energetic gap might be missing inside of us that's going to help us on that path, I think it's going to keep coming up for us. Because specifically with me, that's been the reality of my life. One relationship after another relationship, and who's the relationship I've missed all along? And that's me. I never needed me, because I was looking to somebody else to fill the gaps that I didn't even know that I had. But if you would have asked me at that point, I didn't have gaps. So it's just this
We're not taught to see them,
journey.
right? No one taught you that. And no one taught you, no one taught any of us this.
It's just a beautiful journey of self-reflection, but then looking at yourself and saying, well, you really did screw up a little, Crystal, but we're going to call that what that was at that point, and meeting yourself with that unconditional self. And I really think that that's a beautiful place to be, when you can finally do that. And you feel it, the click that takes place when you're like holding yourself accountable without screaming, yelling, putting yourself down. And you're just like, my God, girl, we've had a ride. And I would like to show up for you better. So please tell me again, what do you need? Because now I'm listening. And that's what has taken place over the past week and a half to 2 weeks, and all of the conversations I'm having with myself and my husband. And in this space, that's what's come to the surface. So you pulling Miss Louise Hay, once again, let's just call her.
I call her the fairy godmother.
Absolute magic.
The godmother, the fairy godmother.
And then also what we wrote about in our soul broadcast for Sea Goddess, it's kind of amazing how all these things are coming up, but also it's coming up in a lot of the readings that I have with people too. And I think that, man, it's a tap dance. and I'm sure you know this, when you're sitting with a client and you can see where they're at and what they're willing to accept and what they're not, how do you say that? How do you meet them in a space that says, but you have to be responsible for why you're here?
Well, what
You
I do,
have to be. Because that's a hard one to do sometimes with certain people because they have had shit lives. It doesn't take that away. But it does not take away the fact that you've had it rough. It doesn't take away your trauma. It doesn't take away your experience and how you've seen and how you felt and what you experience. Accountability never takes that away. Because at the end of that, you see you and you see them and you understand no matter what, this shouldn't have happened. So it's really holding a space for you, yourself, the energy of the space at the time, while also finding a space to be like, hey, I can forgive me for this experience too. I don't
yeah.
know. It's a beautiful place, but it does take a while for us to follow those breadcrumbs.
I love it. And I've had the opportunity to witness so many people as I hold space for them as an ascension guide. And you ask the magic question of like, how do you know when people are ready or what to do? And I feel like people, they come searching for it themselves. And for me, I notice with my clients that it's when they're really ready to take responsibility and start reparenting themselves. And you find that you're your only protector. You're the only one that loves you. You're the only one that is your pony in this race. And like this merging of kind of your higher and adult self starts to merge with your inner child a little bit, and you start to work cohesively. And just the things you were talking about, like you really are reparenting yourself and you're loving yourself in those moments, and you're showing up for unconditional love and forgiveness and grace. And it doesn't mean, what happened was okay or anything like that. It just means we have an opportunity to shift our perspectives and to snatch back our power. And I feel like ultimate forgiveness is when you look back at a situation and it doesn't have an emotional charge over you anymore. You just look back and you're like, yeah, my house burned down. Like, oh my God, my house burned down. Or I was in this relationship or that happened and you look back and you're like, it's kind of that it is what it is. It's that acceptance. So, we're juicy. And I haven't seen any comments yet because I'm on my phone. So I'm sure we have lots of people up in the house.
We have Helen, we have Terry, Lori's twin, D, it says. And I'm gonna say I know who that's Terry Dennison. I'm for sure. She says, hello, beautiful girls. Good news, I'm going to become a great grandmother. I found out it's a boy. I'm so excited. Mandy, could you please pull a card for him? If not, I would like one, please. We have Glenda, hello. Hello, Heather. Happy Tuesday. Thank you. I screwed up. I thought I was doing a light brown situation. And I got this, which once again, Mandy already said it's like Bob Ross. It was a happy mistake. It's whatever. So we're rolling with it is what we're doing.
I think Crystal's one of those amazing women who looks good with every single color hair for the most part. You always look banging.
It's super funny. I'm just like, whatever. I don't trust, like, blonde doesn't work for my hair. And if I have to do it myself, it's a nightmare because I'll die. It'll all fall out. It'll be bad. So I just don't. And then Terry said, don't pay attention to the name. It's a running joke between me and my friend. Lacey, good evening. My little sister passed away. I'm sorry. Last December. Does she have a message for me? We will get back to you on that because we go up and down. Lexi, love your hair. Hello, beautiful ladies. And Glenda says, it's a happy mistake.
I agree with Glenda. I think it just looks adorbs. I love it. And for Terry's baby, grandbaby, we got, Father Sky, trust in the unknown. So important to trust in all of the things. And they're showing that this little soul coming in is going to be very, very wise and very connected to its higher self and to spirit. And it's going to be really fun to learn when that soul incarnates, simply by watching it grow and evolve. And also, just for you, trust in the timing of everything. There's just going to be certain things that come up and times where you get to step in and times where you need to step out. And you're going to know all of that intuitively and beautifully. And remember that you have spirit on your side and you can always ask the angels for help and for guidance and love and protection.
And I am going to say hello, Susan. Lacey, I do this differently here. Like I don't try to connect with spirit. So what I can tell you is yes, that there is somebody on the other side for you doing this to me, and they're also doing this, which means they couldn't speak or communicate with their words prior to their passing, and they're also snapping their fingers. That usually means to me that when they cross over in an unexpected way that people didn't see coming. However, what she's doing is a roller coaster ride prior to the passing, which usually means to me that people probably knew something was going on or something was starting to take place prior to the crossing over event. But what she's also doing is she's putting her hands in front of her. And that usually means to me that we're pushing people away prior to the crossing over experience because of whatever reason. And I am not going to get too deep into this with you because, once again, I feel like there's a little bit of a weird situation. It could be me, could be the universe, could be whatever. But it's almost like there's something that needs to be said that shouldn't be said in this type of way. So I'm just going to put it that way to you, okay? I feel like it's not necessarily, I feel like there's a lot of different perspectives on maybe what took place and how it took place prior to the crossing over experience. And so it's almost like not everybody's ready for that door to be open, is how I'm going to say this. And so what I'm going to tell you is, first off, unicorns. Have no clue what the crap that means because I don't do anything with unicorns. That's not anything to me at all. I have no clue what that is. But she's giving unicorns. Also, on top of that, she's taking and she's making it very incredibly difficult for me to breathe, but I don't necessarily feel like that's her. I actually feel like that is more so you, and how you're perceiving her experience and how it's going on with you, and maybe some of the heaviness, I'm guessing, that takes place prior to, okay? Because she's really making it very difficult for me to breathe. And even though I feel as though that probably had something to do also with her prior to her passing, we just lost Mandy, I'm sorry. Even though I feel like that also has something to do with her prior to her passing, she's really making me feel as though like the breathing difficulties is other people and how this is playing out around them. And so it's harder for her to connect with you guys right now because there's this thing that's weighing down upon us when it comes to that experience as a whole. And so even though I feel like she herself wasn't able to speak, communicate, and express what she needed and wanted to the people around her, she's really making me feel like where you guys are stuck right now is not being able to receive what you want to receive because your thought processes, your fear processes, your trauma processes are stuck in this state of grief that aren't allowing you for her to open that essentially what I see is like this butterfly or this flower to let you know that she's okay. Like, I'm okay, even though I don't think you guys think she's okay. All right. So there's a lot here packed into this very small, confined space. And I feel so much anxiety because of it. And so if I can give you anything, please know that there's a lot of love here. She is holding on to somebody's hand, which usually means to me that the girl tried as long as she could to hold on with strength as much as she could prior to her crossing over experience or during her crossing over experience. I can't, though. She's really making me feel like I can't because it happens all so fast. And I feel like it's all these different things happening all around me all at once. And I can't focus on one event because I'm trying, really difficult, trying to grab upon something that's going to get me either out of a situation or to get me into a different situation. And I feel like I can't grasp that. I also feel like there's the situation where it's like my head goes blank. So I don't know if there was some trauma or something that took place with her head. But she's making me feel like...
About that. Do you want to know?
Huh?
She commented about that. Do you want to know?
Okay. I'm so sorry I don't pay attention, you all.
It might help you go deeper. You're spot on, she's saying. And it said she was murdered by her husband. You're spot on. She went without oxygen and she was brain dead. We're sending you loads and loads of love. And thank you so much for sharing this with us, Lacey. And it will help Crystal to go a little deeper.
So sorry, Lacey. And that makes sense because it's not a happy conversation. This isn't a happy conversation. There's a lot of depth to that conversation. But she's really making me feel like I'm blacking out completely. And that's like my head just goes blank. And once that takes place, and I'm going to tell you, she's a realist. She's not somebody who saw in the stars. I don't feel like that. I feel like she was a pretty grounded person because she's really making me feel like she's got a really good head on her shoulders. And I feel like once that took place, it was almost like I don't know whether it's the angels coming to escape me from the situation that I don't want to escape from, because she has fight, a lot of fight. But she's also really making me feel like, as gripping onto this, I also know and understand it's okay on the other aspect to let go. And she knows that's not what anybody wanted, and that's not what she wanted either, because I feel like she's got a whole lot to live for. I've got a whole lot to grab onto. I've got a whole lot to experience. At the same time, I know that I'm not going to be the same after this takes place and if I come back from this. And so please know that you're loved. Also, somebody gets open doors, like actually freaking open doors. Like she's actually opening a door. She is literally taking a door and pushing this door open. And so you'll hear it go creak and you'll see it open a little bit. That is beautiful because she's also giving that to me as my open door sign and symbol, which means somebody in the family has the ability to connect with spirit. And I feel like her passing is going to catapult that person, which is going to seem like incredible anxiety. It's going to be almost too overwhelming for you. So if this is you, please ground yourself. And also, please take a breath when things start to get a little bit crazy, because I feel like you're taking on the emotions and the experiencing and not knowing how to separate yourself from those. So this would be a beautiful time for you to maybe call upon your angels and your guides and help them give you with clarity what's being presented to you without fear, frustration, or what you perceive the situation to be. Because I believe she's trying to close the chapter of this through one of her family members. And she's really making me feel like that family member's you. And I think that you're like beating your head on a wall because you don't know how to receive it, but you know she's trying to talk to you. So please know that she is. And there's a lot in this. And I'm also going to say, my Lord, Mandy, can you pull a card or two, please, too? Because she needs a lot of love. Like the whole family, I just want to give you guys all a hug, and I am so very sorry.
For Lacey and her family. Oh, there's her confirmation. Wow. Okay. All right. Here we go. So we've pulled 3 cards for you guys. The first one is Signs from Heaven. It literally shows feathers coming down, and there's signs coming to you at this time, like Crystal was saying, like the door and all kinds of other things, particularly with you, Lacey, music. There's songs, there's lyrics, there's things that are making sense and connecting, and it's really important. Like if something just randomly comes on the radio, no, it is not random. And I'm also just getting lots of feelings of euphoria, and the angels are showing me that your sister, even though it wasn't peaceful how she went, she is at peace. And I'm not seeing like her soul being stuck in trauma around it. I'm seeing her soul being happy and free and being on your spirit guide team now, really, and rooting for all of you. And she weaves in and out. You get the next one here, which is trust your inner voice. Thank you, or the inner voice. Thank you, angels, for guiding me through my inner voice. Your intuition has been very right about a lot of things for a long time, and it's time you really give yourself permission to jump into that a little bit more. And also, literally, in like the way this picture is, though this represents the inner voice, you are going to hear, you or someone like Crystal said in your family are literally going to hear whispers. You're going to have some auditory things coming in for messages, and it's going to be really nice and beautiful, and you get to enjoy that. And then last but not least, I think this is for you, Lacey. Spiritual gifts, Archangel Raziel. Thank you, Raziel, for helping me to channel my gifts and talents. You can even sit down and just light a candle and take a few breaths, maybe light a little sage, and like ask your sister to write a letter to you, ask her to come through. And I think some really cool channeled, interesting information will come through. But know that your connection is real. It's there. Know that this, though it was really hard and traumatic and not fun, is a bit of an initiation too into your own spiritual gifts. And you are going to be able to continue to connect with her. So I hope that helps and supports you. And thank you for sharing with us. And I'm going to check the comments too.
Yeah, she said, I've been told by someone else that my 2-year-old son has been able to communicate with her. So that goes in line. I thought it was Lacey. I didn't think it was her son, but I know somebody's talking to her, and I know she's talking to somebody else. And I really I could spend a whole hour with you. That's the issue here. Because this is like a heavy situation, and there's a lot Spirit could say, but I can't spend a whole hour just on you. But I can tell you from the very bottom of my soul, this is two different situations playing out here. Well, three actually, because we have the family, we have like all of the stuff when it comes to the husband or the ex-husband, the court stuff, the justice system. We have that playing out. We have, well, I feel like it's kind of already kind of come to a close based on how she's giving it to me, but she's not making me feel like it was what we wanted. But at the same time, she's also making me feel like we can't get past what we feel as though she experienced prior to, but then you have her also. And she has the right to her feelings on the other side. And she's not making me feel like she wanted to leave. I don't lie to people and I don't tell everybody that the ego's just gone on the other side. Like they have the right to feel too. But she's not in pain. She's not in frustration. She's in frustration because of how certain things played out and because of other things, which once again, I'm not getting into that here. There's a lot here. But at the same time, like, she's really wanting you guys to know at the core of where she's at in life, it's peace. Like I know that's not what you would think from her because she's really making me feel like she's spicy. She has a fucking will to live. Excuse my French. Please don't take me off from wherever I'm at. But she's really making me feel like you guys wouldn't expect that from her because it's almost like and that's not it at all. She's just making me feel like I have no choice but to experience where I'm at and do what I'm supposed to do and grow from this situation where I'm at and be a part of you guys and get through to whoever I can. And that's why it's difficult because it's so tragic and because there's so much pain and because there's so much anger, it's going to keep certain people from being able to receive her. Whereas other people, specifically that beautiful 2-year-old, is going to be so much more open because he doesn't get all those vibes. He doesn't get all those feelings. He's in a much lighter state. And so he can be like, grr, I didn't get the candy bar. Grr, you're making me go to bed. But his feelings aren't that deep yet. So he can be open. So I just give you love because that's awful and it's horrible and I'm sorry. And I have nothing else in words that I could ever say to take that away from you and your family. And I wish I could. I'm sorry.
And I'm sending you a lot of love too. And they did show me with the 2-year-old, yes, your sister is communicating, but there's also like a grandfather or a great grandfather that tickles and comes around and makes him giggle. So just know that. And then they're also showing just angels around and showing him cool things. And if you see him kind of daydreaming or staring at something, he's actually like really looking at things in kind of in different realms. And it's important to maybe like, let it be and encourage it. And it's safe and it's beautiful, but very, very wise soul. So enjoy that and know that as much as Crystal said, there's nothing that can change it or take it away, but just know that there is peace coming your way and you will walk towards that in your own beautiful divine time. And thank you for sharing with us, letting us share with you.
That was deep. And I'm sorry I'm going through it.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Heather says, Crystal, do my guides have anything I need to know today? And Mandy, can I have a card, please? And thank you. And you know what? I'm going to let your guides talk through Mandy because they're making me feel like it's going to be like this. They're doing this, which means closeness and love. And that just means it's going to be the same damn message. So, because I think you know where Mandy's going to go with the cards that are being pulled. Heather, they're making me feel like, gosh dang it, girl, we're already talking to you.
For Heather.
It's like, gosh darn it, we're talking and and it's a little bit harder sometimes to take the steps we need in life. So no further ado.
Oh, I love it. Okay, for Heather, I'm feeling a star seed or two. Beautiful. All right. Well, this confirms a little bit of what Crystal said too. So first of all, you get a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. You've had massive transformation and change and all kinds of things going on in your life, and you're still adjusting to that. And you're adjusting to these amazing roots that you're building and new foundation that's being created. And you deserve to just take a breath and be in that space. With that, though, you've got the love, Heradian energy, codependency, and boundaries. The Heradians are all about the love, and we can especially empaths, can get into codependent relationships or relationships that we're staying in for too long because they're not serving us, or we're not allowing our relationships to grow or evolve because we're not speaking our own truths about what we need. And it's been very interesting. This is for you, Heather, and every other woman, especially listening right now. There's been a lot of divine feminine energy rising up over the past few weeks, and it's mostly been within ourselves. And many people have been getting, if you're in a relationship with a male, frustrated with the men. And it's been very, little things, but it's an opportunity for everybody to grow up and to realize where boundaries have been getting crossed and how it's okay to change and evolve and to grow so that we can have healthier relationships. And like, it's little things that annoy the shit out of each other and then create animosity or resentment. And it can be something that, with a healthy conversation and with, love and putting it forward and saying, hey, I love you, I love me, listening to music until midnight every night isn't working for me. Like, I need to go to bed. Like, sometimes it can be simple things. It doesn't have to be some crazy ass toxic thing, but it's where we get to learn our boundaries and what it is that we need. So just know that more boundaries are coming in. And if you feel anyone or anything being a little too much or too codependent, or you feel yourself stepping into that at times, we all can do that. Take some breaths and see where you can draw in your own love. And then last but not least, you've got wait. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. So let yourself sit in the wait. Let yourself observe. Let yourself enjoy this amazing new earth you're building. Let yourself watch. I think you have a puppy, all these things. Like, let yourself just be. And then even with that, dogs are great places to practice our boundaries on, animals, and learning. So just sending you mad love, and you've got this, and you are wonderful, and you really are creating this entire new earth you're wanting. And it's important to just continue to be patient with yourself and speak that truth. I feel some right here.
That's why I said what I said, because they've been talking about this with her for a while. And I feel like, man, y'all got to take a step back. Calm down. Change doesn't happen overnight. It happens every day with every move, with everything we do and how we say it. And I lay in bed at the end of the night, I reflect on my day, and I'm like, yo, I got these things, and this I wish I would have done a little differently. I see it now how it was, and whoo, next time you give it to me, maybe I'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. And thank you for letting me know. There's different ways to hold yourself in those moments, but also give yourself patience. And I feel like with you, Heather, specifically, this is another one of those moments where I'm just going to take a moment and I'm going to give you a little hug, and I hope that you receive it. If you're okay with that, I don't want to be touchy if you don't want it, but I'm going to give you some love to your space, because you've been through so much and you've been through such deep stuff. You've been through deep, deep things, and those deep traumatic things have not had the time yet to fully clear up and clear out. And on top of all of this, you're literally in the whole entire, like, I'm getting goosebumps because you're in this space where you're really learning who you are right now for the first time in your life. And that's going to be confusing. It's going to be frantic. It's going to be anxious. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to have all these things happen because you're being reborn right now.
And lots of beauty.
Yes. And for the first time, you don't have everybody else's happening around you. And so give yourself some space to readjust and refocus, so then you can really look internally and say, you know what, I do like these aspects of myself. Maybe I want to change or fine tune this, but this is what I want now. And then make sure that you use that throat chakra to voice those things to the people around you, specifically your husband, because you two are like, you're really great. I don't know your husband, and I'm sorry for calling him out, but gosh, he's wonderful. And I feel like he tries so hard to meet you where you're at.
And grow with her and grow, but try to
yes.
figure it out intuitively, but it can get weird. And so it's important. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
It's so important to have that, honest communication. I see exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh,
but he's
so
a dude. But he's a dude, and he don't get it.
Like Mars, from Venus is a real thing.
He wants to so bad, but like the male's perspective or perception of reality is so vastly different because their emotions are different, they're taught different, their upbringing is different, what they're told by society they have to be is so different. And so we literally see the world in black and white, and we have to find and marry that area of gray with whoever we're with. And so if you don't take the space right now, instead of trying to fast track yourself, then you're going to miss the steps, and you're going to have to retrace your steps later. So please, for the love of hell, Heather, please be patient with yourself because it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a journey. You're not seeking the destination, okay? So they're really asking you to be nice to yourself right now. And that's where they were coming from with all that, like, whoa, I'm telling you, woman, take a minute. You've been through a lot. Hello. Sit with us. Take a breather
And
with
you
us.
are a magical little earth angel. You're meant to flutter your wings and do your things, but you also get to take that deep, deep time out and to wait and to see what is being woven.
Yes. So super awesome, Heather. I absolutely love you. I did move on to Emily's comment because she said, hey, can I just have a general reading? So yes. And I love you, Heather. You know that. We'll get to your comments. I love you.
All right. For Emily, what does Emily need to know most today? I'm pulling from the Angels deck from Kyle Gray. I'm feeling some angel messages. I guess 3 is our number. 3 is usually my number. All right. First one, open your heart. Archangel Shamuel. Thank you, Shamuel, for removing barriers around my heart. That is, love is the theme in February, whether we want to subscribe to it or not. And it dances around us, and it's always an opportunity to fall deeper in love with ourselves. Your relationship with yourself is the only one you have this entire lifetime. Kids, best friends, spouses, lovers, all the things, still temporary. All we have is truly that deep one with ourselves. And they're showing that your heart's been through a lot. It's certainly strong and resilient and beautiful, but it also has some serious barriers around it. And these barriers came up because of the things that happened around you, and it's okay, but you're coming into a place in your life where it's safe to remove the next layer of that. And if you need some help or support, it's important to do some heart openers, to say to your angels, you know what, it's okay. It's safe for me to open up my heart chamber. It's safe for me to release a little. It's safe for me to give myself some love and some support. And then we get the miracle of nature. Thank you, angels, for helping me to reconnect through nature and fresh air. They're showing that nature truly is one of your medicines, and you get inspired by it. You literally feel refreshed. There's a lot of things. I don't know if you're a gardener in the summertime. If you're not already, you've got some magical energies going on there. So it might be nice to research that, and just know that that's also one of your medicines to help like, it's almost like they're showing me like you're giving like shock signals to your heart. And this is for everyone too. A cool thing that you can do with nature and filling your heart is any time of the year, if you go outside and you face your palms up towards the sun, even if it's cloudy, if you can get the sunlight, great. But if not, it's okay. Your palms are an extension of your heart chakra. And if you just let it hang out there for 3 to 5 minutes longer, if it feels good, you are going to literally feel the sun energy pulsating into your heart. And it cleanses, balances, restores, and pumps in so much life force and nutrient into your heart chakra. And then last but not least, Emily, you got Leap of Faith. Woo! This thing's literally something. I'm ready to take a leap. Thank you for doing it with me, angels. If you're really thinking about taking the next step on something in your life, this is your confirmation. You've got love, you've got support, and often the hardest part is taking a step towards it and trusting that the universe has our back, and trusting that your higher self has your back, and trusting in yourself. So if you're ready, go for it. Open your heart, take a leap of faith, and connect with nature in whatever way you can. Hope that supports you tonight, Emily.
Sorry, I'm making tons of noise over here. I was going through stuff and then I was like, whoop. I realized I did not mute myself and I apologize. Oops, I got on the wrong one. We don't want that one. Lord have mercy on my life today, guys.
I like that, Heather.
Woof. Okay, so Kel Aaron says, good evening, ladies. I'm trying to get a new job and I'm thanking the universe and asking God and my guides for signs about the process, and feel like in this situation, oh Lord, and I feel like in this situation and a lot of situations when I have asked the angels, I ask for signs like angel numbers, I feel like I always get repetitive digits, times that I see like 333, 222, 444. There is never really any specific sequence or number that always sticks out. It just seems to be that way, showing up in sequences every hour, and I'll catch. I think there's more to that, but I can't see it because I can't see it from here on these comments. So what I'm going to do, Erin, is take a deep breath, my girl.
Oh, here, I got the rest of it. It says, there's never really one specific sequence or number that always sticks out. It just seems to be that they're showing me number sequences on every hour, but I'll catch that. Oh yeah, and then it just ends at A, I guess.
Okay.
Is all they're showing me. But
So, well,
I
what I
think that
was
means you're in
doing,
alignment. And Crystal's got that number book there.
yeah, I have
Whenever
my
I see
number
that,
book.
yeah, whenever I see 333 222, something like that, for me, it's a spiritual high five. My angels are like, yeah, good job. Like, you drank your water, you applied for that job, you stretched your shit out, like whatever it is you need to do. And for me, those are like the little high fives. And then we get like little personal numbers or sequences we'll start to see all the time too. For me, mine's like 1 2 3 4. I see it like all the time, or different things like that. And just know that you're connecting and they're all good. And Crystal's got a whole book that she's going to share with you guys and a little more details on those specific numbers.
I do have a book because I get numbers too. That's how they talk to me the most. And why, Aaron? I am so analytical in my life. When it comes to you guys, I can hear galore. When it comes to me, I am apparently not paying attention at all. And so they flash things in front of my eyes. So I'll get the little knowing in my, oh, look at the time. And I'll look at the time and I'll be like, oh, it's 6:17. And then I'll be like, thanks, guys, because 17s are my number when I see them with other numbers. I'm like, okay, that's me. So I'm going to read 222 and then I'm going to read the 444 because I'm betting the 333 goes in the middle and in hand with the rest of the stuff. So just like Mandy said, 222 is a trust fall. Your angels ask you to trust your place in life right now. You are in the right place at the right time and take a look around and enjoy the moment. Everything is where it's supposed to be. And you said that you were trying to find a job. So that kind of is in alignment with that because when we lose something, automatically that sets our anxiety into like hyperdrive and we don't know how to kind of get control. And then we have all of our other anxieties. And then we just start to make this a whole big thing. And then we try to rush to find the next something. And it might not necessarily be in alignment with what we're needing or where we're going or how we're feeling about our life. And so I don't know what 444 is, but I'm going to say they're probably going to tell you to slow down at some point and really focus on what it is that you want, because they're really making me feel like this space is a moment for you to really pull yourself back and try to refocus your energy on what you really want versus what you think you need to strive for next. So 444, protective magic. Your prayers are heard. The number assures you that you are being heard. Your angels are guiding you, surrounding you, and answering your prayers for protection. It may be a time of struggle, but you are being led into the light by your guardians. So take a moment to thank your angels for their protective presence in your life. And so it kind of all goes in alignment with the fact that you've got a lot of things transitioning for you right now. And I don't think it's all just job. I feel like it's also internal transition as well. There's a lot of upheaval that happened with this job experience and this job situation. And I don't know what it is, but they're making me feel like there's some upheaval. So when it comes to that, I would say, first off, I don't know if you listen to Abraham Hicks, but if you don't, I would get on there and look up manifestation because they're really good at explaining manifesting, like job or something along those lines. I don't know if Mandy, I don't know. I know we've talked about it before. If you have a video or if you have something, please let me know and I'll attach it to this. Okay. But I think that it's incredibly important for us to understand manifestation in the form of being able to really focus and create a list of all the things that we want and how those things like are in tune for ourselves, but then also making sure we fine tune that and then putting it to something else, either writing it out and saying, I thank the universe for, I thank God, whoever you believe in. But also like envisioning it if you're not just up here and analytical. And I think you're visual too, because they're really making me feel like you're struggling seeing the outcome. You're struggling seeing the opposite end because things seem to be like condensing right now. So,
and maybe micromanaging a bit, putting too much pressure on yourself a little bit and not trusting as much that, hey, you're taking the steps and now you're held.
And I'm just sharing who this is from. It's very difficult to see it, but it's Mystic Michaela, and it's called the Angel Numbers book, which also I do believe is in the link because I call it my Angel Bible because I look at it all the time because that's how they talk to me. So I hope that helps you a little bit. It probably didn't very much because it doesn't give you the answer to what you want to hear. But I think that your answer is pull yourself back and see where you can go from here, because I don't see you taking like, this is a path change. This is completely stepping off and doing something different. They're not doing that. They're doing this. This means to me that you're going to be on the same path, but you might branch off from what you're already doing because what you used to do isn't necessarily in alignment with where you've been going or what you've changed and how you want to receive. And so they're almost making me feel like you're going to be veering off, but not too far off the path that you've always been on. And so there's probably a job opportunity out there that you don't even know exists yet because you might not have looked into that a little bit more. And I feel like you're stuck in knowing what your actual like what you can offer to the table. Like they're making me feel like you struggle with seeing the beauty in yourself and seeing how you're going to I guess help another company or help somebody else or help in a situation. Like they're really making me feel like you gotta find all those things that make you magic and put those on paper. So they're there, and so because they're really making me feel like you talk to them a lot. So they know that and
this is a really good time for manifesting the jobs that you want. I literally just did that with myself. I absolutely love the Marine Mammal Training Center, which is here in Brigantine, New Jersey. And my dream job part-time for them would be to like be an educator of some sort. But I don't have a biology degree. I haven't spent a bunch of time, working with marine life. I'm a volunteer there. I've been volunteering there for a while, but I didn't think it would be ever something I would be able to do because it wasn't my degree. I have a business degree. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there when I was looking for a part-time job. And I took a few deep breaths and I just sent them an email and I was like, hey, love your organization. Love working for you guys. Is there any opportunities maybe coming up part-time that you think would be a good fit for me? And they came back and they were like, yeah, you'd be like a great educator, which was really cool. And it like ended up like there was a part-time position for it. And I was able to go right in because I asked for what I wanted. And for me, I'm 37 years old now. And it was the first time I went and just asked for what I wanted. And it came right away. And I didn't search for any other jobs or any other things. And like, I was so grateful and so excited. And I have 2 other friends that I talked to, and actually 2 more clients that I talked to over the past 2 weeks that have done really similar things. And they've been able to move into positions that feel really in alignment for them, or working for organizations that are new and exciting and they feel seen and heard and refreshed. So don't be afraid, like Crystal said, to take a look at your magic, take a look at what it is you offer and put it out there, and maybe go ahead and contact somewhere that you want to work and like have that faith in yourself. Cause I know I just got that for me in a little part-time position, which I'm so excited about. And then I know it happened for several of my friends and clients recently too. And there's beautiful energy right now for co-creating what we want. So do not sell yourself short, sister, and get out there and go after what it is you're wanting. And your angels clearly have your back with all of those signs.
I almost forgot to unmute myself. I was like, I'm going to be talking. Sage the Mage. I would love a reading if possible. And I love all of that because that's all true in this moment right now. And I see a lot of people transitioning or having to re-find another job or sitting in the space of what they want to create for themselves. And it was really interesting because like my guides, when I was doing it, Mandy knows I've been on a month-long journey of trying to self-discover Crystal and what she really wants. We've been doing this now. It's almost over next week. But they gave it to me in such a beautiful way. I was taking a shower, listening to Mr. Ballin on the podcast because I do that. And during this beautiful horror podcast, came to me that it came to me in this that if you want it, it can't not be. The only thing that can let you down is you, because we are literally we have that extension of source. We have that extension of God. We have that extension of light in ourselves. And so those knowings that we get here in our soul, that's literally source saying, now's the time. And so if we fail, it's because we don't take the moves, or we make ourselves feel like we're not worthy in some way, or we do something. There is no failure. Nothing can fail in the eyes of God. Nothing can be taken from you. If it's given to you, it's because it's your path, it's your choice, it's your experience. And it is the right time because it was given to you. And so I was like, that was the most magical I've ever heard during a horror podcast. Awesome. Thank you for reminding me that I am source. And it was a podcast about a woman who turned to like magic and dark magic and the occult. and tried to do some sorcery because she was scared or fearful of what the outcome was going to be. So it was them saying, well, if you are source, it can't be taken from you because it's supposed to whatever. So it was a neat, it went far deeper, but that's the overview. And I'll
I
shut up
love
now.
that. And it's true. And I see that opportunity, that crossroads all the time when I'm holding space with my clients. And like, if you miss it, if you chicken out or something happens or self-sabotage or whatever, it's okay. It's going to come back around again and you're going to have another opportunity. And in fact, those opportunities, just like the lessons, keep coming up for us to take a step towards it. So always have grace with yourself in those moments. But if you can, get a little like curious and excited and see what you can do to maybe conquer that fear or step towards it, like Crystal was talking about, because you are source. We all are. I love that.
I thought it was awesome. I was like, how do I share this with people? There you go.
All right.
Showers, horror, occult, murder, it all makes sense.
Right up Crystal's alley. Sage the maid. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Our first one. You are not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. If you're feeling alone at all at this time, know, like this says, that you're not. Know that there is amazing people like-minded out there for you to connect with. They're showing the times of isolation and loneliness, though it's been scary, though there's been rejection, it was actually protection. And you are meant to be growing your sage skills and all that good stuff at certain times. And if you ever do feel alone or isolated or like you're walking this path alone, that's the time to really extra drop into spirit too and ask them to be there and support you and give you signs and messages, because they will. They will. And it's a time to strengthen that. Okay, then you get karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Whatever conflict is coming up, internal and external right now, it is literally to pull you back on an arrow and catapult you forward. And it's coming in right now in order to grow you. And it's not always the most comfortable. Growing pains are a real thing, but it's happening for you. And there's some interesting karmic relationships playing out. And what I'm showing is too, it's really you stepping forward into an even greater level of peace. Maybe speaking your truth, taking a couple breaths, and then making a decision about which way you want to go. And then last but not least, the Hieranth, longing for home, homesick for the stars. This is not your first rodeo here on Earth, and it won't be your last, most likely. And they're showing that even when you do have things all balanced and somewhat figured out and you're feeling good, that there is actually this homesickness for other planets and for heaven and for where your soul is and being fully connected to that. And many of us, light workers, starseeds, empaths, we come in and we do, even in our happiest moments, have just this little bit of loneliness because we're missing that incredible, euphoric, ecstatic feeling that we get when we're in the heavens and non-physical and sometimes other realms. And just know that you are very connected to the stars. And if you're ever feeling that extra homesickness, to maybe go outside and do a little star meditation and let yourself be held, and know that you have angels and ancestors and other beings that are supporting you, and that it's like normal for you, and it's okay, because you are an amazing sensitive soul and you're down here right now on a mission. And when you can, just take a deep breath and know that you are loved and that you are held and you are very connected to spirit. Crystal, do you have anything to add?
Love it. Absolutely not. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going through and I'm reading comments and then doing some, blockages while you're talking and people. So, because Mandy holds down the dang fort for us. We're getting some of the blockage going on. Heather says, okay, you're right. I knew, LOL. Thank you so very much for confirming for me, though. I was just talking boundaries with someone last night. I've been meditating and grounding more. Just be. And she also says, in the moments, thank you for confirming, lots of love. And I absolutely love that, because it's just really, I feel like it's more like going back and reminding ourselves. And it feels almost like a broken record sometimes, but it's that comes with it, I guess. So I don't know. it's one of those situations where it's just a lot of like taking the pause and being like, oh wait, I know how to handle this now, and this is how I'm gonna do it, instead of going or in a different situation, or even helping people and realizing, you know what, that's their path. It's not my business. Nobody else's life is my freaking business. How you think about life, how you feel about life, what you think is true about life, none of it is my business. It's not my business. You do you. I'll do what's in alignment for me. Don't come into my house or into my life and try to micromanage me. And
when it becomes your business, only if your sacred boundaries are getting crossed.
Exactly. And
even then, it's still not your business what they think of you or what they're saying or doing. That's on them.
It's super funny to me how many people like don't kind of like, don't really understand that, I guess. It's really funny because I myself have struggled. Sorry, I'm going through and I'm deleting stuff, but I've also struggled with that as well. Because a lot of people have this perspective or perception. Family's really bad for this. Like they always have a say in your life, or they want to have a say in your life. And you're like, no, my house, get out. And, I've come to the realization that I don't care. I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm with Ben. I didn't marry his mom. I didn't marry his dad. I didn't marry his ex-wife. I didn't marry any of these people. I married him. And so they can have their life where they have their life with their perspectives, their opinions, their experiences. It's all valid. I'm not taking any of that away by being in my own corner saying, but leave me the F alone. So it's been a lot of love, I feel like, in growing over this past, like, so many years in this space, and trying to realize that there's a lot of this in there that society makes us feel like is wrong, because then we're looking like the meanie or the bad guy, and we don't want to ruffle feathers, and it's all these other things. So then we're all caught up in our own head and have to keep going back and reminding ourselves we're not the jerks that we think we are. And you're just not.
I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been really blessed to move a lot of places. I've been blessed to have so many friends, and I was always like the new kid in school, and I kind of embraced it, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'm this weird new kid, and I'll just tell everybody who I am and meet as many people as I can. And I always had sleepovers at my house and all the girls, and I'm still always like have tons of girlfriends, and there's always lots of opportunity for this, like, with girls and girl drama and stuff. And I just can't even tell you how many times things have happened, or stuff has gotten uncomfortable, or people have gotten triggered, or you don't talk to each other, and then you give it some time and some space, and 6 months, a year later, a few years later, someone comes back and they'll apologize, or they'll be like, oh my God, like I grew so much. Or like it'll happen with my high school girlfriends sometimes. Like they'll be like, oh my God, do you remember when I was such a bitch to you that one day? And I'm like, no. They're like, well, I'm really sorry, and I remember it, and it haunts me. And I'm like, I don't remember that at all. Like, but you were forgiven, and I love you, and it's okay. And it's so cool to do that with ourselves too, and go back to other people and be like, oh, like Crystal was talking about, like, I remember when I was, I don't know, you said a dick or an asshole or whatever. And like, it's really cool because it gives us that unconditional love and that space to be on our own journeys, and then come back in and check in with others. And I think that's where the really cool part about karmic relationships come in. And some people don't grow, but some people do. And I hold so much space and love for that.
I love it. Do we have time for 2 more?
Sure.
Do you have time for 2 more?
Yeah.
So I was going to share this one. It says, Angel Numbers book is so good. She has a new psychic workbook out there too that I bought. Do you have any advice on how to open ourselves to our abilities? I feel like I have zilch abilities right now, but I'm probably blocking a lot out of fear too. Battle with myself.
We just hosted a beautiful workshop on this, and some bullet points from that. What are some things that you would say, Crystal? And then I'll add in.
I feel like you got to get to the, how do you feel? Like, my question would be for you, if I were to sit in a room with you, would you be able to connect with me without speaking? Would you be able to look at me and kind of know if I was going through something? Are you more of somebody who hears? Do you see things? You have to know how your first realm of connection is. And also, what are you kind of wanting out of the gifts that you're experiencing? What are you wanting? Mandy, you said it earlier about micromanaging spirit and micromanaging how we get things. And I think it's so overwhelming to some people, the gifts as they are. It's so overwhelming that we forget that it's literally just the senses that we use on a daily given. Spirit speaks through your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your egos. imagery, senses. So taste, touch, smells. And I guarantee if you sit with yourself and you kind of remember some of those things that come in, those knowings that you receive, those things that pop into your head that you have absolutely no clue where they come from, those are all ways that spirit communicate with us. And for me, how to receive more of those things is when they come through, not second guess it. You just say thank you. And thank you for letting me receive this. Thank you for giving me this sign. And people are like, but how do you know it's spirit? Why does it freaking matter? I don't get why we care, because no matter how I look at it, if there's a rainbow outside and people are like, oh, you want me to believe the spirit gave that rainbow to you? Well, why the hell not? And everybody else that saw that rainbow too. That was a beautiful moment. The universe said Crystal needed a rainbow in her life, and then also compelled me to look out my window and see it. So yeah, that's spirit to me. I don't care how you look at it or how you swing it, but it really doesn't matter at the core of anything, because really we're just supposed to say thank you so very much for letting me see that and receive it. It's beautiful. I take it in. Thank you. And I thank you for giving me clarity. I thank you for showing me how. I thank you for all these things that you want to know about how you receive. But also be nice to yourself and understand that I can't do math, okay? It's just a thing. I can't do math. Give me a math problem, I won't do it because my brain doesn't compute that way.
And love so angel numbers, though.
Right? But that's in a book. That's no nonsense right there.
I'm just teasing.
If it's one of those things that you're struggling with, you've got to find a way to make it work for you. And that's really all I can say. You've got to find a way to make it fine-tuned to you, to make it kick in. I still had to pass school. I still had to take math class. I had to get, no lie, math for dummies and teach myself how to do math so I could get a diploma. You have to find a way to make it make sense to you if it's something you really want. And if it's not, if it's too overwhelming, if it's too exhausting, if it's too whatever, well, then, you know, whatever. Just drop it and let it come. Let it be. It is what it is. So, boop.
Beautiful.
Sorry. I'm once again still reading and blocking. So
beautiful. I think that was great. And like, honestly, I always encourage people to get out of their way a little bit, take a breath. I'm a huge fan of like channeled writing, lighting a candle and sitting down and seeing what comes through. Might be a love letter to yourself, might be something from spirit, might be a memory from when you were younger. And then trusting, tuning in with your senses, like Crystal said. Are you hearing things? Are you feeling things? You suddenly have a conscious sense of knowing. And you don't have to go and share all that information right away either. You don't have to pressure yourself to be like, oh my God, I have to share these messages. You can just say, thank you, like Crystal said, and hold on to it and see how it plays out and let it be in your sacred container or your journal or something and take the pressure off and enjoy the exploration.
So that's what I feel about that. And I would really like for you to tap into it a little bit. I don't know. I don't think that there's one person that can help you figure it out. To me, it's just a lot of self-reflection, understanding, and sitting with yourself and saying, what did that mean? How did it feel? Talk to your angels. Like, ask your angels to show up for you. I also did this because I had a hard time believing in invisible people. So like there was a horrible left turn that I had to make from my house. So I'd be like, okay, thank you, angels, so very much for helping me make that left-hand turn and not having to sit there forever. And kid you not, freaking traffic would part. You use it, you see it, it's a little bit, you can't really deny it too much, because I was such a skeptic when I started this, and there started being so many things happening in and around me and messages that were coming through that I couldn't explain at all and still can't explain today. And so it's just one of those things that they've taught me not to be a skeptic myself. And it's, I think, mostly believing in you and believing in your own interpretation. I don't think it really has anything to do with spirit, because they're talking to us all the time. So I don't know how to answer that question, but I hope that did help you, Angela. I hope it helped you a little bit. Crystal, the anniversary of, and Mandy, this one's going to be for you also, because I already read this one, and it's not necessarily what can she do. Like, I think that people would be like, okay. But you really help people with that trauma and getting out of that space and inviting spirit in. That's Ascension master here. So I believe fully that Mandy can kind of help you with this one, the anniversary of her daughter's death. Also, my birthday is this month. My anxiety to that day grow so bad, and I want to calm my thoughts and try to feel closer to her, but my ADHD has me a wreck. Suggestions? We usually celebrate her on that day.
Mm.
So I am going to say, one, you know what I'm going to tell you to do, which is what you already do. And the reason I said I'm going to let Mandy take this one is because it deals with the brain, it deals with the thought process, and retraining our brain is a lot harder than people think it is. It should just be that easy. Like, I don't want to think the thought. Well, that's not how it happens. And a lot of that is trauma that gets caught up with it at the same time. And Mandy is a goddess when it comes to trauma. So I'm going to let you handle this one.
I'm just wrapping you in a lot of love, Julie. And as one ADHD sister to another, I know how wild that can be. I have many things that support mine and help me with that. One is cannabis. That really helps me to actually focus and ground in and chill out. I also really like to use tapping, not only for my own focus and stuff, but for grief and for staying present and for rewiring. And for anxiety, especially because it can help us to breathe a little bit, to put the thoughts into our system that we're wanting as opposed to the ones that we're not. When you do tapping, which is the emotional freedom technique, you literally just tap on some points of your body, mostly either your karate chop points, your heart, your collarbone, chin, under your nose, cheeks, temples, eyebrows, third eye, crown. Those are the ones I like the most. And it's an opportunity to say, I am loved, I am safe, I am connected to spirit. I'm doing the very best I can in this moment. Even if I don't feel worthy of love, I know that it's safe for me to receive love. Even though I have pain, it's safe for me to let that go a little bit. Even though I don't understand what happened or why, it's okay for me to be safe in this moment. And it's an opportunity to start transmuting and releasing some of those things that are holding us up or giving us or creating anxiety. A lot of times, anxious thoughts can be subconscious. And when you start to do some affirmations or some tapping or some breathing, it brings you back into the present moment and it neurologically interrupts what's causing the anxiety. And grief is one of the most sacred feelings that we can feel as humans. And that is your sacred journey of how you move through it and what comes up for you. I know many people do choose to celebrate on those days and to celebrate that soul that chose to come in. And I'm so sorry that you lost a child. Like, that is just not fun and something that no one wants to go through. But I also encourage you to honor your daughter's light and her life force and what her soul chose to do. And every single one of us, we're only here for a temporary time, and some of us shorter, some of us longer, but we all have these amazing soul missions, and we all have certain things we need to get to or stuff we're wanting to do. And it's always an opportunity to celebrate, the impact and to know that grief is love. Grief is just truly love coming in and wanting that opportunity. And in any way that you can, start connecting more spiritually and doing what you can to keep talking. I'm seeing you guys talking to each other all the time. There's constant conversation and it's important, and it's nice to allow that to continue. And I also see a lot of other ancestors around and holding and helping. And you have like a grandmother or great grandmother. It's always rubbing your back and there with you and walking with you. So it's so important to just try to let yourself receive and maybe let yourself celebrate the next year of life that you get to have. And though you don't get to walk together with your daughter in the physical at this time, she's walking forward with you right now as you step forward in your life. And maybe think about all the incredible things you've done this birthday and how far you've come, and you've survived 100% of your hardest days. And what are some things you still want to maybe learn a little bit while you're here in Earth School? And so I also, if you want some more help with tapping one-on-one, I've got a couple videos up around it. And also for anybody with severe anxiety, this is the finger hold technique. If you hold each finger for 30 seconds or more and just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, it helps to start to release all of that stuff that's coming in the subconscious, that's creating us to feel really anxious and upset, and helps us to really calm our nerves, because all of our acupuncture points are also connected to points in our fingers. And then also just anything you can do in the moment to take some breaths and go over 10 things you're grateful for. Easier said than done, but there's some serious potency and magic to that. And it's pretty cool the energies that'll shift once you get from number 1 to number 10. And I always like encourage people to do it like when they're angry, like I'm so grateful, like, oh, I got this car, I've got this. And then by the time you get to 10, you're laughing at yourself, you're feeling a little lighter. And you have a lot of feathers up in your life, and those are no coincidences. So just know they're showing feathers falling around all the time. If you're not finding them already, keep your eye out because they're coming. I hope that helps, and I'm sending you lots and lots of love, Julie.
I'm going to add one of the things that I've struggled with over the past year is my anxiety, ADHD, but like the PTSD, constantly re-triggered PTSD. And I have found myself in fight or flight a lot over the past year. It has been tremendous. So I did actually get an app for my iWatch, which I only have because of my heart. I hate wearing them. I hate 5G. They really screw with my energy. But I needed to see my stress levels because my body was in a lot of stress because of certain things. And I really needed to learn where they were, what my triggers were, or what was going on. And so I used it as a way to like make a diary. So one of the things that I found with myself over the past was actually, Mandy, we were in a soul circle, I think. I can't remember. Remember when I shared the thing that showed like the lava? But then it was also like before spirit channeled or while I was channeling for spirit, even though I felt super anxious, even though I feel that anxiety. Yeah. I was like, there's actually like, there's a lot of things going on inside of me that is kind of flipped. So one of the things that I've learned for myself specifically is I've been listening to those. So take a screenshot. I'll leave it up here for a second. If you get on YouTube, and you look up Hertz healing, blah, blah, blah. I use 174 right now. That's what my focus has been because it is a natural anesthetic, which I have been diagnosed with the autoimmune diseases. So I've been struggling in my fight or flight because of my anxiety and because of my inflammation. Roller coaster ride of pain, okay? Heals physical pain, heals emotional pain, increases courage, cleanses aura, emotional well-being. And I've actually been listening to that while I sleep, and I have not had physical pain. It's the craziest, weirdest thing.
It penetrates your tissues, and it literally gets into your muscle bellies, and it's the best frequency.
So, yes. And they like drop a bean in the water. Mandy, you'll love that because like they show that to me. It's like when you're listening to it, it's like the little ripples that take place, and that's what's happening in your body while you're listening to these things. So I actually put headphones on at night, and I listen to it while I'm sleeping. And it has been such a tremendous help for me. I haven't had any in 2 weeks. I have not had any crazy spikes in my anxiety the way that I had before. And so it's really helped me a lot, kind of overcome some of those things. I would also maybe suggest one, she keeps saying, watch a movie with her, which I'm sure you probably do watch a movie with her, but it's probably not the same and it's probably frustrating. And I think this next thing that I'm going to say is going to seem a little bit weird to some people, but whatever. Welcome to the Weirdo Club. Maybe invest in a big life-size teddy bear. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when you're sitting there watching your movie, put that teddy bear on the couch with you. Okay. And then you can cry if you need to cry. And you can thank her for infusing her light that you said that she had because she was a light. She's a beautiful human being. You can infuse that with her and ask her whenever I'm here and whenever I'm in a state where I need you, I thank you so very much for helping me feel your energy in this physical object in this moment. You can also call on angels to infuse also into that object. So while you're getting out your grief and while you're getting out your punches, if you need to get out your punches, because she ain't going to feel it physically, just know that, Mom. Like if you're mad and angry and you're going through some shit, you can do that. You can duke it out with a bear. She's going to take that and get rid of it. But you can also thank the angels for infusing it with healing too. And so it'll be a Reiki bear. Okay. So then it actually becomes a tangible thing and it becomes something that you can hold and you can feel and you can sit with until you're able to kind of get over this hump in the moment. And maybe it sits in the closet for 7 or 8, 9 months out of a year. Who cares? It's there for when you need it. And so is she. So you know how this works. You've done this a long time. You've done it for longer than what any parent should have to do. Okay. We call upon her, she's there. We say, hey, we need you, she's there. The issue is that I don't care. I'm a mother. I've not lost my son, and I cannot comprehend the emptiness that a parent would feel in that. And so I would just suggest that you find a way to bring something tangible into your space if you're really struggling with that ADHD and you're really struggling with those heavy feelings. And you really invite her into your space and take the time to really hold her and love her and cuddle with her.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I did pull a card for Julie too. Messenger, Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. Literally looks like an amazing angel. Just know that you are getting those signs. You are very held. Sirius is an incredible planet full of brightness and magic and just so much love and peace and harmony. And know that more peace and love and harmony is really lining up for you at this time. And it's safe enough to really start stepping into that. And I hope that that supports you a little bit. Oh, and you had wanted me to, you made me think we have this amazing vendor that we work with. Her name's Nikki, and she's here in New Jersey, but she makes custom, it's called Miss Reenie's Babies. Her mom started it, and she makes custom teddy bears for people, particularly if you have clothing of a loved one, you can make it out of that or your grandpa's favorite shirt or something. And they make the most beautiful teddy bears in honor of your loved ones. And so if you ever want that connection, let us know at Sea Goddess Healing Arts. We'll hook you up, but it's incredible and beautiful. So I like that you had that suggestion, and just know that we have a connection to someone who really makes those. So if you ever want one, we can hook you up.
I love it. She said her nickname was Honey Bear. So I was like, oh, it was funny because I saw this big giant bear sitting on the couch, like this bear just sitting there, like, let's watch a movie, kick our feet back. Like, and that's how it was coming. But I mean, like, Julie, you're a beautiful woman, and you've already, I mean, like, I hate using certain words. I think words are stupid because words can't describe feelings really. And so there is no, I don't think there's closure. I don't think that there's certain things that people will ever have. I think there's learning how to live life without this beautiful, amazing human being beside you that you love incredibly, and doing it to the best of your ability. There is no overcoming that loss. There's living day to day with a different perspective. And I think you've taken this and you've done such an amazing thing for yourself, but also I wish I had more to give you again, because I feel like no matter what anybody says, it's still not going to take away the existence of the human that you're missing right now in this moment. Also, on top of that, opening up your life and having the birthday, you're celebrating while simultaneously struggling with the fact that you can't celebrate her life with her. Okay. So it is definitely a tug of war back and forth. And I am really, really, really here with you. And I love you. And I'm sorry for the struggle. And you are making her proud. You don't have to worry about that. She's a wonderful girl, but she learned it from somebody. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And I do believe she's winking. I don't remember past readings unless I'm supposed to. And she's winking. She's like, we've talked about this. Wink, wink. So that had to have come up at some point in time in a reading. But we are already over. So Mandy, how do we get a hold of you if we want a reading?
Oh, I was also going to say, Julie, too, and everyone out there, the best affirmation for anxiety is I am peace. Breathe over and over and over again. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. I'm love. I'm love. I'm love. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. And I promise it'll make a difference. And Julie, you are ready for some peace and harmony. And I know your angels are wishing that your way. And Sage the Mage, if you're still with us, thank you for your beautiful comments. I'm so glad we were able to support you. And I'm so glad that this feather brought you a sign, because I've actually had it for a while as a sage feather, and I love it. I got it from this awesome healer, Chi. She's amazing. She owns Exalt Life, and she's so cool. But I never touch it really ever, and I just kind of took it out of its package recently, and it was just sitting here. And when I was talking to you, I lit some sage because your name is Sage, and I was like, oh, we gotta lit some sage. And then I was messing around with it, so I think that was divinely sent your way. So that's really beautiful. And was there anyone else who needed a card real quick, Crystal? I can pull one like real fast.
I did not see that anybody wanted a card. Okay. I think she was the last one. So
all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure we got everybody. Beautiful. So, and if you want, you can
she's so glad.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. So you can find me on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com. If you've made it to the end of this live, I always give out 50% off coupon, which is Mandy Live, and that'll give you 50% off to any of my services. I'm also running a little self-love special, indulge in some soul space with yourself for $55, and the code is indulge for my 1 hour reading. And I'm just so grateful and I love you all. And if there's any way I can hold space for you or help you along your path, please let me know. I meet with people on Zoom all day, every day, and I'd love to connect with you. And I'm just trying to think if we have anything. We've got some cool online classes coming up, so keep your eyes out. We've got some in-person classes coming up here in New Jersey and wonderful things. Crystal, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel with Spirit Speaks. I'm trying to think of all the places that I am and what my name is at this point. I'm completely whacking out right now. But my website is Midmitten Medium. Soon to be changing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's where you can find me. You can also find me on Sea Goddess Healing Arts. So I hope you all have a wonderful,
And this is
wonderful
our
week.
new Spirit Speaks time.
Yes, this is our new Spirit Speaks time. I forgot to say that. If you've paid
Thank you.
attention, we said we were going to change it, and this is going to be our new time. So we hope that you guys can be here. We hope that you guys can tune in, and we look forward to seeing you next week if you're here and available. Have a great week, guys.
Love you all. Thank you. Bye.